What's up guys, Pathfinder here, and today we're just going to be doing a little presentation on the different types of enumeration you can do when in an offensive red team type environment. So for a demo, I'm going to be using a box from Hackthebox.eu. It's a great little CTF kind of site that teaches you a lot of red team tools. And this box right here is called Networked. It's one of the retired boxes, so you have to have VIP on Hackthebox to access it. But if you do have VIP, it's a great little box to practice. It taught me a ton when I first did it. And so we're just going to hop right into it, and I'm going to show you some of the methods I use when I start off on a red team engagement. So usually on a red team engagement, you're just given a IP or a range of IPs. Here we're just given one IP because it is just one box. And so what I usually like to do is use nmap to start off. So nmap is a very popular port scanning tool. It basically sends out a ton of requests to the box that we're trying to hack and tells us what is actually open on it. It will tell us if things are open, if they're filtered like behind a firewall, or if they're closed. So what we always do first is we check out nmap tac h, and this will basically tell us the options and what we can actually do with nmap. Now the simplest way you can do nmap is literally just nmap and then the port you want to do. Now we enter our port like this, nmap 10.10.10.146, and then we can run it. Now this is actually going to take a while because it's doing its default settings and we're not speeding it up at all. And so if you want to get an idea about how fast your nmap is running, oh, there it goes. You could hit spacebar and it would actually give you a status. I'll show that real quick. Hit spacebar and it will tell you how fast your scans are doing. But here with our basic nmap scan, we've already got some great information that we can use to exploit this box. So nmap by default just scans the top 1000 ports on a box. So we can tell it to do more using the tac-p option. So tac-p lets us specify ports, and then if we add another tac after that, this is how we specify all ports. Now, I don't usually do this unless I really just want to throw my entire weight at the box. The standard commands I usually do is sc for safe scripts. This will allow us to enumerate more information from the services that are on the box. Then SV, which is basically banner grabbing. It's telling us what exactly is the version of the service that is running. So it'll tell us like HTTP, what type of web server is it? Is it Apache? Is it some weird off-brand web service we've never seen before? So that's why I like to run SV. And then at the end, I always like to save my nmap file. So you do tac-o in, and this just gives you an output format to save your nmap scan. So let's just call it yeet.scan. Pretty simple. And so if we run this, it's actually going to take a little bit longer than just running a basic nmap scan because we are trying to run some scripts on the services, and we're trying to pull down some banner information. But these two are huge in actually figuring out what's going on the box. While this runs, let's look at what we have open. So we know we have an SSH and we know we have an HTTP. So SSH is usually incredibly hard to break into unless they've let something obvious by, like default credentials, like root Tor for logging in. And now I've personally never seen that on a Hackthebox. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look at this web page. So let's enter in our URL. And we're brought to a weird looking, just blank HTTP page. So one thing I like to do is just look at the page source, upload, and gallery, not linked yet. So this is giving us some good information. So we know that there's functionality called upload and gallery, that it's not linked to the main page. Now, how do we find upload and gallery? Well, we use another tool that I really like to use called dirb. So let's grab a new tab here. And let's use dirb. So we're going to run dirb, and then we're going to put HTTP, then our IP. Now, dirbuster basically takes a giant word list and throws it at every single URL that it can generate. So it basically takes all these words, throws it at the end, and tries to find something that sticks. Now, as you could probably see, this could take a very long time, which is why I like to use a different tool that we call GoBuster. So GoBuster is not installed by default on Kali systems, so that means we will have to get it. But to use get, we're going to have to use sudo permissions. So we're going to sudo apt get install GoBuster. So I got to enter our password for sudo. Fuck.
Bruh.
Well, after looking around for a bit, looks like they ended support for GoBuster in the new Kali. News to me. So we're just going to go ahead and just keep running our dirbuster and hope that pans out. And here we see that our new scan is actually done. And if we ls, we can actually see that we've created a file that allows us to view our scan whenever we want. But just looking at this, we see we have a couple version numbers that we can look at and potentially find exploits for these. Now, usually exploits for OpenSSH are few and far in between, and they're usually around new user enumeration, so just finding out what users are on the server. Same thing with Apache. There hasn't been too many strong exploits that have come out for them in the past, but what you can always do is you can copy it, go over here, and just paste the version number in with exploit at the end. And that will pull up the CVEs that you need to look at, so we can see there's a couple of things that could be related, but I'm not going to pursue these too far just because usually they're not on there, but if you get stuck, they're always a great thing to try. So now that we've gone back to this and we see there's upload and gallery, well, we know that upload and gallery, if they're mentioned in here, are probably part of this server. So let's just try /upload. So that doesn't find us anything. So let's try .php. PHP, a common web extension for, executing apps in online HTTP contexts. And boom, we've actually found an upload server. So looks like it wants us to select a file. So we'll come back to this later. Let's find out what this gallery does. So gallery.php was not found. Huh. Maybe uploads? Huh, looks like there is an actual upload server. So let's look at the source here. We don't really get anything from it. Let's go back to upload.php. So from here, we can do some more enumeration like uploading files, seeing what we could do. But one thing I want to show off is our dirb actually picked up something. So we found a backup and an index.php in the backup. So what we can go to is backup and see if there's anything juicy in there. So we found a backup.tar. So we could open this with an archiver, and it actually gives us a full index of PHP elements that are on the site. So we see here that we have index.php, that's probably the main page that we landed on. We have lib.php, photos.php, and upload.php. So let's visit these. So we go to, let's look at uploads.php. Huh. Photos.php. Huh. So it looks like the upload functionality is used to upload PNG photos. This is some pretty good enumeration, just basic concepts we can flesh out about this web app, and I would write these in your notes if you're planning on doing an actual testing environment. So once we get these tools running and they're scanning, and we got our nmap running, we know what's going on. What I like to do whenever I get stuck is hit nmap hard. So we're going to go back to our nmap scan. We're going to hit it as loud as possible. So that's going to be tac p tac for all ports, tac capital A for all scripts. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to do tac min tac rate 4,000. So this is basically just going to tell us to send our packets at a minimum rate of 4,000. So this is just going to make us go insanely fucking fast like Sonic. So we're going to hit this shit and just let it run. And as you notice, it's taking a little bit longer than the other ones. So while we're waiting for that to run, let's do something called nikto. Nikto is also a great scanning tool, and mainly because it does a lot more extensive enumeration than something like a nmap or a dirb would do. It actually gives us information on what vulnerabilities may be on the specific configurations of the server. So what we're just going to do for nikto for now is we're just going to use the tac host option. So host just allows us to specify a host that we want to use. And of course, we're going to use our little demo host and set that running. So it already sends out some pretty useful information. So cross-site scripting header is not defined. That means possibly some cross-site scripting, though there really isn't much in the ways of actually using that. Content type frames header is not set. Different things like this. Now, what we are most interested in is stuff relating to upload, but if you're doing an actual penetration test, this could actually throw off some really crucial hints, and you could actually find some exploits just by doing this. So we're going to see that running. That probably won't do too much, but it could always find some stuff that maybe they didn't list in their backups. Maybe they have a hidden directory. Another thing I like to do for actual penetration tests is using something called sslscan. Now, sslscan is only for ports on 443 or HTTPS, and that is not this. This is just plain text HTTP, but we can still try out sslscan by hitting Google with it. Now, Google probably won't get mad, but we hit sslscan with Google, and it basically tells us all about the ciphers they're using and the encryption that they're using. And also, if you don't know what Heartbleed was a pretty big exploit that came out for SSL, and it basically allowed for dumping memory that really shouldn't have been dumped, that could have contained password, sensitive information, that sort of thing. Now, obviously, Google's not going to be vulnerable to this, or I sure hope they wouldn't be, and so that's going to give us basically nothing, but it is good stuff to figure out. I know I have used sslscan so much with my work in penetration testing, and it is one of the main things we advertise to clients that we will run. So this has just been kind of a simple overview. You could always, here's our scan done. So that's all the ports. We got them. We ran some scripts on them. Nothing popped up. Basically, this thing is all about the web app. So from here, after we've done our enumeration, we could go through, poke with some of the settings, try the upload functionality. But that's the end of my recon for now. This is just kind of a basic intro to recon. This recon will get you far, and basically Google what you don't know, and it will pop up everything you need to know. So this has been Pathfinder. Any questions, just go ahead and throw them in the comments. I'll try to respond to them. I know this is kind of short, but it's really all you need to know for basic enumeration. I hope to see you guys at the meetings on Friday. I'll be doing a really cool box that I'm building that'll kind of teach you more of a red team aspect of things and do some really cool actual hacking and breaking into some stuff. All right, I'll see y'all later.